Captain Lee Minho stood in the massive hallway of the Galactic Council station. The wall stretched up so high he could barely see the ceiling. Strange lights floated in the air, casting colorful shadows everywhere. He had never seen anything like this place before. "Stay close," whispered Ambassador Kim Tae-hyung as they walked forward. "Remember, we represent all of Earth today." Minho nodded and looked around. Hundreds of different alien creatures filled the corridor. Some had too many arms. Others had skin that changed colors. A few floated in the air without touching the ground. All of them stared at the small group of humans walking past. Dr. Park Ji-soo carried her data tablet tightly against her chest. She was Earth's best scientist, but even she looked nervous. "I still can't believe we're really here," she whispered. First contact with an entire galaxy of civilizations. Engineer Choi Dae-ho quietly activated his recording device. Everything that happened today would be sent back to Earth. The leaders back home needed to know every detail of this meeting. The group reached the main council chamber. The room was so big it could hold a football stadium. In the center sat a raised platform with hundreds of seats arranged in circles. Each seat held a different alien species. At the very top sat the largest chair of all. "That must be the Overlord," Tae-hyung said quietly. The creature in the big chair was twice as tall as a human. Its skin looked like metal and its eyes glowed red. When it spoke, its voice boomed across the entire chamber. "So," the Overlord said, "these are the humans, the newest species to discover space travel." It did not sound impressed. Ambassador Tae-hyung stepped forward and bowed. "Honored members of the Galactic Council, we come in peace. Earth seeks only friendship and knowledge." Many of the aliens made strange sounds that might have been laughter. The Overlord raised one massive hand for silence. "Tell us about your people, human. What makes your species worthy of joining our great civilization?" Tae-hyung looked back at his team, then faced the council again. "Humans are curious and determined. We explore and learn. We solve problems and help each other survive." "Survive?" asked a small alien with purple skin. "Survive what?" "Well," Tae-hyung said carefully, "Earth is not an easy world. We had to compete with many dangerous creatures. We learned to work together to overcome challenges." The purple alien made a bubbling sound. "You mean you had to fight?" "Sometimes, yes. When we had no choice, we defended ourselves." Now more aliens were making those laughing sounds. The Overlord leaned forward in his chair. "Fighting? How primitive. Civilized species do not fight. We use technology and reason." Dr. Park Ji-soo stepped forward. "If I may, honored council, humans have achieved great things through both cooperation and conflict. Our history of challenges made us creative and adaptable." "History of challenges?" The Overlord's red eyes focused on her. "Explain this." Ji-soo took a deep breath. "For thousands of years, humans lived in different groups all over our world. Sometimes we traded and shared knowledge. Other times we competed for resources. This taught us many skills." "You mean war?" said another alien, this one covered in scales. "Your species practices warfare." The chamber fell silent. All the floating lights seemed to dim. Hundreds of alien eyes stared at the small group of humans. Tae-hyung raised his hands. "We prefer peace now. We came here to learn and share, not to fight." But the damage was done. The Overlord stood up from his massive chair. His metal skin seemed to glow brighter. "So the truth comes out. Humans are a warrior species, violent and dangerous." He looked around the chamber. "We have seen this before. Young species who reach the stars but bring their savage nature with them." "Please," Tae-hyung said, "judge us by our intentions, not our past." The Overlord pointed one long finger at the humans. "Your intentions do not matter. Your nature is what you are, and your nature is violence." Engineer Dae-ho quietly adjusted his recording device. He wanted to make sure Earth received every word of this conversation. "We cannot allow a violent species to spread through the galaxy," the Overlord continued. "You would bring war and chaos to peaceful worlds." "But we don't want war," Ji-soo protested. "We want to explore and discover new knowledge." A tall alien with too many arms stood up. "All warrior species say this. Then they show their true nature when they grow strong." The Overlord nodded. "Exactly. We have dealt with dangerous species before. We know what must be done." Captain Minho felt a cold feeling in his stomach. "What do you mean?" "I mean human. That your species poses a threat to galactic peace. Threats must be eliminated." The chamber erupted in alien voices. Some sounded excited, others seemed worried. But slowly, one by one, they began to agree with the Overlord. All in favor of declaring the human species a galactic threat? The Overlord announced. Alien hands, claws, and tentacles rose throughout the chamber. Minho counted them quickly. Almost everyone was voting yes. The vote is complete, the Overlord declared. The human species is officially classified as a hostile threat to galactic civilization. Military action is authorized. Taehyung stepped forward desperately. Please reconsider. We came here in peace. Peace? The Overlord's laugh was like metal scraping against stone. Your own words condemned you. You admitted your species lives by violence and warfare. We will not make the mistake of letting you grow stronger. The Overlord sat back down and waved his hand. You have 72 hours to evacuate this station. After that, our fleets will begin the cleansing of your home world. Cleansing? Jisoo whispered. Complete destruction, the Overlord explained with satisfaction. We will turn your planet into a dead rock. No human will survive to threaten the galaxy ever again. Security creatures that looked like walking tanks surrounded the human delegation. Captain Minho wanted to fight, but he knew it would be useless here. Move, ordered one of the tank creatures. Your ship is this way. As they walked through the corridors, alien creatures watched them pass. Some looked curious, others seemed happy. A few appeared almost sorry, but none tried to help. Back on their small Earth ship, the four humans sat in stunned silence. Engineer Daeho uploaded his recordings to the communication system. I can't believe this happened, Jisoo said quietly. We came to make friends. They've already decided what we are, Taehyung replied. Nothing we said would have changed their minds. Captain Minho activated the ship's communication array. His message would take days to reach Earth, but there was no choice. Earth Command, this is Captain Lee Minho reporting from the Galactic Council Station. The aliens have declared war on humanity. They plan to destroy our home world in 72 hours. He paused, looking out at the massive alien station. They think we're dangerous because we know how to fight. They have no idea how dangerous we can really be. He activated another communication channel, this one directed back toward the alien station. Overlord, he said calmly. Congratulations. You just declared war on the deadliest, strongest species in existence. You wanted to see our true nature? You're about to get your wish. The small Earth ship undocked from the station and began its journey home. Behind them, the aliens prepared their mighty fleets for what they thought would be an easy victory against primitive humans. They had made the biggest mistake in galactic history as their ship jumped to faster than light speed. Minho smiled grimly. They wanted to know what makes us dangerous. They're about to find out that the worst thing you can do to a predator species is threaten their home. The war was about to begin. Admiral Song Hana sat in the underground command center below the Pacific Ocean. The room was dark except for the blue glow of computer screens. Red warning lights flashed across every wall. The message from Captain Lee Minho had arrived 3 hours ago. War it is then, she said quietly to herself. General Yoon Seokjin burst through the heavy metal door. His face was grim, but his eyes looked almost excited. Admiral, all department heads are ready for the emergency meeting. Hana nodded and walked to the main briefing room. Around the large table sat Earth's most dangerous people. These were not politicians or diplomats. These were the men and women who knew how to fight and win. Ladies and gentlemen, Hana began, the aliens have made their choice. They want to exterminate humanity because they think we're too violent for their peaceful galaxy. Dr. Han Nayeon, head of military research, smiled coldly. How ironic. They're about to learn what real violence looks like. What's our timeline? Asked Communications Officer Lee Jinwoo. The alien fleets are already moving toward Earth, Hana replied. Our spy satellites detected massive ships leaving their staging areas. We have maybe a week before they arrive. Strategic analyst Park Soo-young spread a holographic star map across the table. Their force is enormous. Hundreds of ships, each one bigger than our largest spacecraft. They're not even trying to hide their approach. Why should they? Laughed General Seokjin. They think we're primitive savages with crude weapons. Engineer Choi Daeho, who had just returned from the alien station, activated a recording device. I observed their technology during our visit. It's advanced, but it's designed for their kind of warfare. Energy shields, plasma weapons, long-range attacks. They fight like a video game. And we fight like humans, Hana said with satisfaction. She pressed a button on the table. The room's walls came alive with displays showing military bases, research facilities, and hidden installations all around Earth and throughout the solar system. Project 7 is now active, she announced. Everyone in the room knew what that meant. For decades, Earth's military had prepared for this exact situation, not alien invasion specifically, but war against a vastly superior enemy. Every scenario, every possibility had been planned for. Dr. Naon stood up and walked to one of the displays. Our conventional weapons are useless against their shields, but we don't fight conventionally. She pressed a control and new images appeared. Kinetic weapons, nuclear warheads, nanite swarms, and most importantly, the Ghost Fleet. Ghost Fleet is ready? Asked Captain Kim Namjoon, Earth's best pilot. 50 unmanned ships, each loaded with enough firepower to level a city, Naon confirmed. They've been disguised as space junk and asteroids for 5 years, scattered throughout our solar system, completely undetectable. Communications officer Jin Woo pulled up intercepts of alien military chatter. Listen to this, he said, playing an audio file. Strange alien voices filled the room, speaking in their own language. Subtitles appeared on the screen. The human nest world should fall in less than 1 day, one alien voice said. Their primitive weapons cannot penetrate our defensive systems. What resistance do we expect? Asked another voice. Minimal. These creatures barely understand space warfare. Our scanners show they have no energy weapons, no plasma shields, no proper starships. The room of humans listened in silence. When the recording ended, General Seokjin started laughing. No energy weapons, he said. No plasma shields? They have no idea what they're walking into. Admiral Hana activated another display. This one showed networks of contacts around the world. Not military bases or government facilities. These were different. The underground networks are active, she explained. Crime syndicates, mercenary groups, survival communities, hacker collectives. Every dangerous human on the planet now has the same mission. Which is? Asked Dr. Nayan. Defend Earth by any means necessary, Hana replied. No rules, no limits, no mercy. Strategic analyst Park Soo-young highlighted sections of the alien fleet formations. I've analyzed their approach patterns. They're using standard military doctrine, organized, predictable, efficient, and that's their weakness, Captain Namjoon realized. They fight like soldiers. We fight like survivors. Engineer Daeho brought up technical specifications of captured alien equipment. Their technology is impressive but specialized. Energy-based systems, centralized command structures, automated responses. It's designed to fight other civilized species. But not us, Hana concluded. They've never faced persistence hunters. They've never dealt with a species that sees war as evolution in action. She activated the main communication array. All units, this is Admiral Song Hana. Condition Red is now in effect. The aliens want a war. They're about to learn why humans conquered their own planet before reaching the stars. Across Earth, the message was received. Hidden bases came online. Secret weapons were activated. Ships disguised as civilian craft began moving into position. Most importantly, millions of humans who had never met each other united behind a single goal: survival. Dr. Nayan pulled up the final display. It showed Earth from space, looking peaceful and blue. But now that view was different. Hidden among the orbital stations and satellites were weapons the aliens couldn't imagine, railguns that fired tungsten slugs at incredible speeds, nuclear mines disguised as communications equipment, and everywhere the signatures of human ingenuity applied to warfare. How long until the first engagement? Hana asked. The alien vanguard will reach Jupiter in 18 hours, reported Jinwoo. Their main fleet follows 6 hours behind that. Captain Namjoon cracked his knuckles. Perfect. Time to show them what happens when you wake up a sleeping predator. General Seokjin stood up and looked around the room. Remember, everyone. They started this war because they think we're violent and dangerous. Let's prove them right. Admiral Hana activated the fleet command systems. Across the solar system, human ships began moving. Not the big, obvious vessels that the aliens expected. Small, fast, deadly craft that could appear from nowhere and vanish just as quickly. One more thing, Hana said as the meeting ended. When this is over, the galaxy is going to be very different. They wanted to eliminate us because we know how to fight. Instead, they're going to learn that there's a difference between knowing how to fight and being born to hunt. The room emptied as Earth's most dangerous people went to prepare for war. But this would not be the kind of war the aliens expected. This would be human warfare. And the galaxy was about to discover why humans had survived and thrived on a planet that tried to kill them for millions of years. In space, The alien fleets continued their confident approach toward Earth. They expected to find frightened primitives with crude weapons. Instead, they were flying straight into the jaws of the apex predator species of the galaxy. The hunt was about to begin. Commander John Jungkook floated in his fighter cockpit near Jupiter's largest moon. Around him, 20 other human pilots waited in the darkness of space. Their ships looked nothing like the sleek alien vessels approaching from the outer system. Human fighters were small, angular, and covered in weapon pods that seemed almost random. "Contact in 5 minutes," whispered Pilot O'Minji through the communication system. "Enemy vanguard consists of 12 heavy cruisers and 40 escort fighters." Jungkook checked his weapons display one more time. No energy shields, no plasma cannons. Nothing the aliens would recognize as advanced technology. Just kinetic railguns, nuclear-tipped missiles, and good old-fashioned human creativity. "Remember the plan," he said quietly to his squadron. "They expect energy weapon exchanges at long range. We get in close and show them what real warfare looks like." The alien ships appeared on their sensors, massive and glowing with power. Each cruiser was 10 times larger than a human fighter. Their escort ships outnumbered the humans 2 to 1. It should have been a hopeless battle. Tactical Officer Lim Hanul, monitoring from Jupiter Station, activated the Ghost Fleet protocols. "Unknown contacts coming online," she reported with satisfaction. Throughout the Jupiter system, chunks of rock and metal that had floated for years suddenly came to life. What the aliens had dismissed as space debris revealed themselves to be unmanned human warships, each one loaded with enough firepower to destroy a city. The alien commander's voice crackled through intercepted communications. "What are those objects?" "They were not on our sensors 5 minutes ago. Ghost Fleet is active," Jungkook announced to his pilots. "Time to hunt." The human fighters accelerated toward the alien formation. No fancy energy effects, no glowing shields. Just chemical rockets and nuclear engines pushing small metal boxes through space at incredible speeds. The aliens opened fire first, brilliant beams of plasma energy lighting up space like deadly fireworks. Their shots were perfectly aimed where the human ships should have been. But the human fighters weren't where they should have been. Pilot Minji rolled her ship sideways at the last second, letting a plasma beam pass harmlessly by. "They're aiming where we're going to be, not where we are," she laughed. "They fight like computers." The aliens had never faced pilots who could think and react faster than their targeting systems could calculate. Jungkook activated his ship's primary weapon. The railgun fired a tungsten slug the size of a pencil at 10% the speed of light. No energy signature, no plasma glow, just a tiny piece of metal moving faster than anything in nature. The slug punched through an alien fighter's energy shield like it wasn't even there. The shield was designed to stop energy weapons, not solid projectiles moving at relativistic speeds. The alien ship exploded in a shower of metal and atmosphere. "First kill confirmed," Jungkook reported. "Their shields are useless against kinetic weapons." All around the battle zone, human pilots were making the same discovery. The aliens' advanced technology was designed to fight other advanced technology. It couldn't cope with primitive projectile weapons moving at impossible speeds. Lieutenant Kang Seoho, leading the 2nd Fighter Squadron, tried a different approach. Instead of firing at the alien ships, he aimed at something much simpler: their communications arrays. "Targeting their antennas," he reported. "If they can't talk to each other, they can't coordinate." His railgun slug severed the delicate communication equipment on 3 alien cruisers in rapid succession. Suddenly, the organized alien formation began to fall apart.